Pananda, and welcome to Wrexham AFC's Match Day Live. We're back at the Stockport for this afternoon's battle with Exeter City, and for the very first time on this programme, we're in the fan zone! Fantastic to have you with us wherever you're joining us on YouTube around the world. Hopefully through the afternoon we'll catch up with one or two folk here in the fan zone on a very wet and windy Wrexham day to see where they've travelled from to see the mighty Red Dragons this afternoon. Andy Morell and Mia Roberts are alongside me. They've not travelled quite so far, but they've managed to get through a week of snow and wind and ice and rain. Great to see you both. Well done for getting here.
Yeah, thanks. And thankfully, the Wrexham media team have pulled one ear and got us indoors. Thank you very much.
It's a bonus, isn't it? Yeah, we're thoroughly enjoying not being out in the elements. This is a day when you probably need a Four Walls whiskey if you are sat in our temporary stand behind the goal, as all these good folk in the fan zone will be shortly this afternoon. But this is an opportunity for Wrexham to try and get back to winning ways, of course, after that disappointing defeat against Stockport County, the first of 3 home games. And Mia Roberts, we know of course Phil Parkinson's side have got such a great record at the racecourse. Despite that setback on Saturday, I'm sure there'll be plenty of confidence in that dressing room.
Yeah, I think the Kairos is such a fortress. It has been for a long time now under Phil Parkinson, and that's down to not only the quality of player we've got out there, but also the fans, who obviously a lot of them stood behind me today. But in that ground, it's become such a powerful tool for Phil Parkinson and them players that we've utilised so well over the last few seasons, when maybe away from home we haven't put in the as much of good performances, but we've grinded out results. And here we come here and the players absolutely love it. They've all spoken openly about that, and hopefully today back to winning ways.
Andy, as a player, when you arrived at a ground on a day like this, rain hard, wind in the air, what were your thoughts on what you might need to do differently versus a match in more normal conditions?
I used to love it in this conditions. They're brilliant, yeah, because ball speed is quick, anything can happen in the game, mistakes happen, so you're really relying on just being up and at it. You've got to get up, go and do the hard work, make sure you're hard to beat as a group, and then work on the quality from there. But you're just going to look forward to getting out in front, regardless of the weather. I think you just get out and show what you're capable of, and they've certainly done that at home, haven't they?
They certainly have. Let's have a look at the team that Phil Parkinson has named today, because there are 4 changes in the 11 to the team who faced Stockport County last weekend over in Manchester, and that includes a first League One start for Lewis Brunt. He is coming into the back 3 alongside the returning Owen O'Connell, preferred to Dan Scarr. Max Cleworth going to play on the left of that back 3, which means Tom O'Connor drops to the bench for the first time this season in a league fixture. Ryan Barnett and James McLean, as ever, patrolling the wing-back roles. And then some alterations in midfield. Matty James, formerly of Leicester City, a Premier League winner, gets his first start for the club at home. First opportunity to see him at the Stoke Kairos. Ollie Rathbone and George Dobson alongside him, which means it seems Elliot Lee will be deployed up front alongside Ollie Palmer. So a change for Lee as well. As you can see on the bench, Paul Mullin, John Bodvarsson, Sebastian Revan, Mo Fal, Tom O'Connor, Dan Scarr and sub-keeper Mark Howard. Andy, your first thoughts when you saw that team?
Well, I thought he would revert to type his home team that's got him so much joy so far, with the 3 normal ones in midfield. I know Cannon's suspended, but Rathbone would come into that, Elliot Lee, and I thought he'd go back to Palmer and Mullin up top, because that's what's got him joy. But he's obviously seen something in training, I know Mullin's not been able to train this week because it's been on Astro, I think, so that might be a reason why he's not in the starting 11. But I still think that the team that he's put out, I think he's seen something in training that the standards may be dropping in the team, the lads that have been playing regularly, and so it's time for those other ones that have been pushing and doing really well in training and not had an opportunity to go and have a go.
Mia, we've seen Lewis Brunt really impressed when he's had opportunities in cup football. I know a lot of the fans have been keen to see him in the side. He's had to wait a long time for his opportunity as we near the end of November.
Yeah, he has, but listen, I've been really impressed with him when he's come on in those cup games. I know it's been against, maybe you could argue, lesser opponents, but you can sort of see why Nigel Clough was desperate to get him at Mansfield this season, and why it was a great coup for Wrexham to actually bring him in. I've been really impressed. I think he's very good on the ball. His leap is fantastic. I think you'll see that maybe a few times today. He gets up in the air really, really well, and we've got this squad depth now, why not use it? I think we're heading into a really busy period for the next 3 weeks. I think we've got Saturday, Tuesdays, so you've got to make those changes, give those legs a rest, and the boys coming in today, I think equally as good, so I'm really happy with that team today.
Well, we had the opportunity, as ever, on Matchday Live to catch up with Phil Parkinson just a few moments ago. Well, Phil, a challenging week with the weather here in Wrexham. How has that impacted on your preparations for today?
Yeah, obviously disrupted week on the training pitch, but I think that's been across the country really, and Exeter will have had the same challenges. And it's about adapting, making the best of what was available to us, and I feel we've done that.
I know Paul Challoner and the team have worked really hard on the pitch this week. How's it looking out there?
Yeah, Charles done a brilliant job. He's worked tirelessly to get the game on, and the ref came at 12:30, had a look, and there's just one or two areas a little bit heavy, but in the main he's done brilliant.
4 changes to your team today from the one who faced Stockport. Talk us through your thinking.
Owen comes back in. I thought he did well when he came on the other day, and probably been a bit lucky to left out the team. Brunty, I just feel deserves his chance. He's done brilliant for us in the cup games, and he can step in with the ball and give us a dynamic feel on that left hand side to kind of break the lines a little bit with his ability to drive forward with the ball. Obviously, Mate James comes in. I thought he did really well against Port Vale, gave us control in the midfield, and that's what we're looking for today, to try and get control of the game. And Cannon out, Rathbone in. Ollie equally has done well when he's played, been a bit unlucky, and gets his opportunity today.
Are the changes partly due to the performance that you saw at Stockport, Phil, or is this just in response to what you've seen in training and the challenge of Exeter?
I think just a mixture really. Just looked at a few different things in training. I felt we needed to shake the pack up a little bit today and have a different dynamic to the team.
What sort of challenge are you expecting from Gary Caldwell's side?
Yeah, I mean, 3 at the back, quite fluid. We'll look to play out, but they've got the platform and McGuinness at the top of the pitch as well, so we'll go into Josh. But in general, they look to play through the thirds, and we've got to get our pressing game right today, and that's been kind of dictated a little bit the team we've selected, having some real legs in there to go and press, and can we win the ball high of the pitch.
Thanks for your time, Phil.
Thank you.
Manager Phil Parkinson giving us his thoughts and a bit of background to his team selection today. Neil, we know Phil loves 3-5-2. It's the formation he's played almost every week since he came to the club. Do you think there's any possibility today, with Elliot Lee partnering Ollie Palmer, we might see a slight tweak in the top third?
Yeah, I think it's highly likely, especially with the likes of Ollie Rathbone coming in, and we saw him against Sheffield United play that forward role in the Carabao Cup earlier on in the season, so I think it's highly likely, and it's quite exciting today. I think it gives them a bit more of a freedom, Elliot Lee in particular, who's probably had to do a bit more graft defensively so far this season, which has restricted him. I know he's already on 4 goals, making him second top goal scorer, but we're sort of used to maybe getting a few more, so I think he'll really relish today and that opportunity to get more forward in those attacking opportunities.
Well, there have been fixtures already in League One this afternoon. We're going to take a look now at the League One table. This was how it was this morning, but there have been 3 lunchtime games, and a very interesting result at the top of the table not far from here, because Shrewsbury Town, under new manager Gareth Ainsworth, have beaten Birmingham City by 3-2. A real upset there at the Crowd Meadows. 3-2 win for Shrewsbury. Bolton have beaten Blackpool by 2-1. So Bolton's rise will continue. They'll go up to 4th place as this afternoon's matches begin, and Stevenage were held goalless draw at home to Leyton Orient. But that defeat for Birmingham City, Andy, certainly not expected, and very good news from a Wrexham point of view.
Yeah, it is, and that'll have filtered through to the changing rooms. I'm sure it gives you an extra little boost to go out and make sure that when you are at home you win your game. It's a big surprise, but it's that new manager bounce, isn't it? That somebody goes in and all the players think they've got a new challenge, a new freedom, if you like, to go and get in this team, and they've certainly done that against a really good Birmingham team as well.
We said a couple of weeks ago, Mia, that Wycombe were the surprise package. 6 wins on the spin now. No one else has managed more than 11 points in their last 6 games, but they've taken 18 from 18. Can you see them sustaining this?
Well, I think that Birmingham result sort of speaks for itself in terms of the quality of this league and the sort of possible upsets that can happen. So listen, I think Wycombe are a very strong side. I'm very glad we played them when we did at the start of the season, when maybe their squad hadn't quite gelled with some of the new recruits. But listen, they're looking very strong, and I think they'll be thinking, well, Birmingham maybe aren't doing as well as maybe they thought in a couple of games. They can take advantage of that and pick up points where they can and keep on that form. So yeah, absolutely.
Well, we saw Stockport County there starting to make their move in the upper echelons of the table. That was, of course, Wrexham's last trip last Saturday. It wasn't a happy hunting ground at Edgeley Park in the past, and sadly it proved so again. Here's a reminder of what happened.
Palmer comes forward, and Butverson. What a goal that would have been. Some way to score your first for a club. And you've got the turn and the twist, not the angle right on the finish. Here comes Ethan Pye. Barry asking for it. And Ryan Rydell on the overlap as well. In the end, it's Callum Connolly. Southam Hales. Connolly's ball in. On it away. Might fall for Norwood. Big defensive block. They're calling for handball against Dobson, not given. Oh, what a finish! And Stockport take the lead. And no, guesses who it is. 11 for the League One season. Louis Barry. Remember that name. And the home faithful into raptures at Edgeley Park. 6 goals in 7 League One games, and very few will be finer than that. Bit of jostling again this time. Immaterial with Cannon's clearance. There's Barry. That's the right questions as well, and football by Burton. Horsfall was there, but he couldn't find a way past him. But he does love a goal, Fraser Horsfall. He's got 2 in his last 3. And he was at close quarters to react to the parry from Callum Burton here. It comes off Cleworth. And the goalkeeper doesn't have long to react. Inches away. Barnett. Well, he was underneath it, really. Here comes Louis Barry. Might go the long way round and might test the goalkeeper again. Good save from Burton. Had to be alerted his near post. And he's been by far the busier of the 2 goalkeepers. Bit of a give and go from Rydell. They playing through towards Wootton. Saved by the goalkeeper and just got it around the post. And Kyle Wootton has the look of a man who knows that was close to opening up what might be an unassailable lead, given the way this game has unfolded. It was driving through the middle, and Wootton forces the scoop out of Callum Burton. Lee, and this is Tom O'Connor, and now McLean, plenty to aim for. Elliot Lee, wrong side. Well, he's not a man who's blessed with height, but he rose well, Elliot Lee. It was put right onto his head by McLean, and he just diverted it off target and out of the reach of Mullin as well.
A disappointing day then against Stockport last weekend, but the chance for Wrexham to put it right this afternoon against Exeter City. This match, of course, the first of 3 consecutive home games today. Tuesday night at home to Lincoln City, and then Barnsley come calling next. So 3 home games on the spin for Wrexham. An excellent home record, of course, for Phil Parkinson's side here. 6 wins and 1 draw in the league this season. So if that run continues, then hopefully Wrexham can continue to really challenge in the top few places of the table. Let's have a look at who else is playing who today in League One and see which other fixtures stand out to Mia and to Andy. We've looked at those early fixtures this afternoon, and Mia, looking at the 3 o'clocks there, which matches stand out to you?
Obviously, Lincoln Wickham, obviously playing Lincoln on Tuesday night. It'll be interesting to see how they get on against, like we said previously, Wickham, who are absolutely flying at the moment. You know, you can't sort of see many people getting past them as it stands. But then also, I'd say that Huddersfield-Charlton one. I think, you know, Huddersfield were here a few weeks ago, very strong, solid side. Obviously, we played Charlton not so long ago too, away from home, and they gave us a really good battle. So I think some really good games in there today at the 3 o'clocks.
Yeah, Lincoln against Wickham, Andy, as Mia says, will be a good litmus test, I think, for Matt Bloomfield's side. Wickham, of course, in great form, as we were saying, but Sincil Bank, a tough place to go to. Lincoln flying high as well, and of course coming here on Tuesday night.
Yeah, I think our run this week is not easy. You know, we've got tough. They've really both got really good defences, so we're going to have to be our best to break them down. But like we've said before, in our home games, we've got to win, and we have been great so far this season. Let's just maintain that and keep moving forwards, hopefully.
Exeter come north in reasonable form. They're 9th in the table. They've been a mid-table team in League One the last couple of seasons. Josh McGuinness leading their line, experienced Northern Ireland international, and a player Phil Parkinson knows well, Andy, from his Bolton days. Will that help him in terms of planning how best to nullify McGuinness today?
I think he'd just set up like he has done for the past 2 years, I suppose, and just look at their threats, their weaknesses, and see how we can exploit them. I think the change might be part of that, how they think that we can exploit their system, if you like. But I think, the better you know somebody, the more knowledge you can pass on to your players, but it's still them performing the way that you would like them to. So I think they'll just be looking to get ahead, get out the blocks. Every week they used to talk about starting a game properly. If they can do that today in the conditions and get on top of them, then I think they'll be on for a decent result.
Just a word on Matty James, Mia. He gets his opportunity for the first time here today. His pedigree, though, having played regularly for Bristol City in the Championship last year, previously in the Premier League for Leicester City, would suggest that he should really bring quality in central midfield.
I'm sure he will, and I mean, he spoke to you not so many weeks ago and said, you know, he was quite surprised not to be kept on at Bristol, and I think that speaks to how important he was for them last year and how good of a player he is. And you know, you look at his history, his silverware that he's probably got in his house, and that speaks for itself. He's a very top player. We saw that at Port Vale a few weeks ago. You can just tell technically when someone is, you know, of that upper level, and I was super impressed with him and delighted he's got his start today.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see where he plays today, is whether he'll sit in that Dobson role and Dobson move, or whether they'll go to 2 and then play Rathbone like we spoke about and leave behind Ollie Palmer and play 4 in there. I don't know how they'll work that out, but it's going to be interesting to see where they go, because like you say, Matty James is just a real quality footballer, and he'll be looking to put his mark on this game, I'm sure.
Certainly lots of fluidity, lots of options for Phil Parkinson with that side that he's named this afternoon. If you want to get in touch with us on Matchday Live, then please do so through X with the hashtag WXMMDL. You can see it in the top corner of the screen. Now we're here today in the fan zone. Those who are gathered are about to head to their seats shortly to enjoy the game, but we have got one special guest who's just behind me. We've got young Alfie here, and it's a special day for you today, Alfie, isn't it? Why is it special?
Because it's my birthday tomorrow.
Birthday tomorrow, and how old are you going to be?
7.
7 years old tomorrow, and what's the score going to be today, Alfie?
6-2.
6-2. That's to Wrexham, is it?
Yeah.
6-2 to Wrexham. So there we have it. A special birthday treat to Alfie would be a 6-2 win. Well, here's hoping. Have a great day, Alfie, and thank you for joining us on Matchday Live. We also had the chance to catch up with midfielder Ollie Rathbone at the press conference this week to get his thoughts ahead of today's game.
Well, Ollie, with the unseasonal snow in Wrexham, I guess that's meant some changes to training this week. What's the programme been like?
Yeah, we've had an unorthodox week, to say the least, but we managed to get out on the grass today and get a good session in towards the weekend.
In addition to the physical work that you've done this week, I'm sure there's been quite a bit of time reviewing the Stockport game last Saturday. What have been some of the messages from the management?
Yeah, we reviewed it today. It's important that we kind of look at it, but definitely as well put it to bed. he obviously went through his points of things that we weren't good enough, but the players kind of were aware of that anyway. We all knew coming off the back of that game that was way short of the standards that we've set, and another great opportunity to put it right this weekend.
Exeter coming this weekend, a team that are often difficult to break down, don't tend to concede too many goals. What sort of threat do you think they're going to bring?
Well, I think they've had a really good start to the season. I know a couple of their members of staff and they're very well respected in the game, and I think they've got quite a young, fluid team, and they try to play good football, so we definitely won't, we'll show them an utmost level of respect, but we'll try and make it really, really difficult for them as well.
This has been the first time really in the last few weeks that the team have hit a bit of a sticky patch this season with just the one win in the last 6 games. When you've reflected as a group, has there been anything underlying that you've all agreed on that you think you've got to put right?
No, I don't think so. I think there's obviously a few cup games in there and stuff like that, but I don't think the performance levels have dropped much. I think apart from the Stockport game, which was well below par, I think on the whole the performances have been okay. I look back at like the Charlton game where I thought we were brilliant but really unlucky in that last minute. I thought in the Harrogate game we created so many opportunities, just didn't put the ball in the net. So I think if you obviously you say 1 in 6 doesn't sound great, but if you actually put it into context, I don't think there's been a lot wrong, but I think we definitely just need to kind of just adjust a few things and just get back to winning ways really.
And that desire to put things right, Ollie, does having a week like this where you're not able to get out on the grass and out on the 4G as much make that an extra challenge? Are you itching to get out there and practice more?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think we'd have all preferred to have had more time on the training pitch to kind of get back into the swing of things, but that's not been the case. But we're all professional. We all know that there's going to be no excuses come Saturday afternoon.
We've seen you operate in a number of different positions across the midfield this season. Which has been the one that you've enjoyed the most so far?
No real preference as such, kind of anywhere across the midfield suits me, but I'll play anywhere for the team. It doesn't bother me at all. Whatever role the manager asks me to do, I'll go out there and do my best and just try and help the team bring the points home.
And what have been the main differences in the pace and the style of football that you've seen in League One versus your experiences in the Championship with Rotherham last year?
I think probably in this division compared to the Championship, you probably get away with more. So in terms of like the clinicalness of the opposition, like you can maybe give the ball away in this division, you might get away with it, but in the Championship it's a lot more high level, and definitely in terms of giving the ball away, if you give the ball away in the Championship you might not get it back for a while, where in League One, like I said, you might get that little bit more forgiveness and stuff. But I think the way the team is performing and is playing in large portions of the game is at a Championship level, hence why we're doing so well in the league.
And looking ahead now to the coming games before Christmas, a couple of extra midweek games, and then of course the Christmas schedule is always busy. Have you set yourselves as a group a target of where you want to be, say, by the end of the year?
No, not to my knowledge. No, the staff might have, but they've not voiced that with the players. I'm always one for the kind of thing. It kind of doesn't matter where you are until May. So we'll just go into every game, try and win every game, and then when it matters, hopefully we'll be up there.
And just finally, Ollie, obviously you've played in front of passionate fans at Rochdale and at Rotherham. How does running out at the Stoke Kairas compare with those other home stadia?
Yeah, no, it's special. Like that first game where I think I signed on the Friday, was at Wickham at home on the Saturday, and I weren't registered in time, so I just watched. I remember just taking it all in. I thought this is a special place to be, and that's one of the reasons why I came here. I was so desperate to come, because you can tell from the outside looking in that something special is happening, and I really wanted to be a part of it. But yeah, I've been enjoying it, and I hope the fans have been enjoying our start to the season.
Wrexham midfielder Ollie Rathbone giving me his thoughts earlier this week. He's in the starting 11 this afternoon and will play in central midfield alongside George Dobson and Matty James. Andy, we've seen Ollie getting opportunities here and there through the season, but to get a start at home in a league fixture, something he hasn't had the opportunity to do that often. What do you think he'll bring to that midfield?
Well, first and foremost is his energy. It's ridiculous. He's so fit. He gets about the pitch. What I think he does so well is he reads the situation so well, when he can go and when not to, when to hold, and also on which side to go. So when he thinks that the ball's going to be that move to that side, he goes and nicks it that side. He's really, really clever with how he does that. He's growing, I think, as we've seen, as he's getting fitter and getting more used to the way that Wrexham play and the way Parkinson wants him and his role to go. I think he's getting better and better, and the more he plays, the more he'll get better, and hopefully that will come into a consistent role and a consistent game, and he starts in the team more regularly then.
Exeter City, we mentioned today, are a team that are traditionally quite hard to break down. I think they've only conceded 10 league goals all season. Are Wrexham going to have to be patient, do you think, this afternoon?
Yeah, I think so. It depends on how they set up Wrexham to see how that situation goes. Normally we'd play into Palmer a little bit quicker and have somebody off him, but if we're playing 2-10s today, it might be a little bit different. We might have to play a little bit more. But yeah, best defence versus the second best defence. We're expecting goals. Alfie's expecting 6-2. So yes. I'm looking forward to the game and commentating on that one. So yeah, hopefully we'll get a good game of football. Two good teams. Exeter have been around it for the last couple of years, mid-table. They'll be looking to push on. But Wrexham, with that Birmingham result, will be looking to then go again and get right in amongst it properly.
Yeah, certainly some extra motivation there from that early result. And I can't let you go and do your commentary with Mia and Mark yet without reflecting, Andy, that this is the first time we've played Exeter since 2002, 22 years ago, when you scored a hat-trick. Good memories of that day? I'm guessing possibly yes.
Yeah, it was a good day. Good day. I think I'd scored 2 against Swansea on the weekend before, and then we played Exeter and scored a hat-trick. It was just that time that I was scoring goals, and it was just going really well. A couple of headers from Darren Ferguson free kicks. So yeah, good times.
Excellent, Andy. Well, here's hoping for a similar outcome for Wrexham this afternoon. Of course, if you haven't yet sorted out your match pass today, head to wrexhamafc.co.uk/live. All the details are there. You can watch the match if you are overseas. You can listen to the match if you are in the UK. We will be back here, of course, on YouTube at half-time for half-time discussions and analysis, and again at full-time, where we'll hopefully get some reaction from the Wrexham players and management. Keep in touch with us through the afternoon. #WXMMDL. We'll see you back here, same link on YouTube at half-time. See you then.
Sorry, can I ask everybody to sign dance please? Into the stadium? Yeah, I'll show yeah, of course you can, but like I said, it's close to 3. You'll be about you'll be open at half time, okay? Thank you very much. Come on, you've got to drink it faster than that. Very young.
My phone charger at the back roll, that's it. Thank you.
I'm going the wrong way.
It's on underneath my dry layer. Landed. But my sister's got this massive dry layer. It's like this, right? What's that?
That one just needs some red, that's blue, need some more red. Fix one then. Another one. Look back at the camera and see the tea go. You're going straight back into the stream.
Yeah, what's the
You're fine.
No, sure. You were here first. So, yeah, I mean, it's sort of 8 minutes in the middle of half play. Where they're
Okay.
Hello, just see. What do you want? I was just talking to. I called you, and then the fraction of the second it was answered, Darren was asking me something, so I couldn't respond straight away. And he was here first. So, are there any VTs in the half time? So 8 minutes of chat. That's what he said. Did you hear him say that? He said that's what he said. They're gonna bring one. But yes, he said exactly what he said. Just change anything to anything. So that sounds. There's a light, you can see that light is in the back of Mia, there's a light on the back. No, it's just. Well, we can either hire the light outside, or we can hire the tripod here, but the thing is, with Mia being so short, I'd rather not hire the tripod anymore, really, because it just makes her look so tiny. I mean, the thing is, she's so big next to her, so. This is sort of the height that I've had it, so it's a compromise really between Mia. I think it's more important that Mia doesn't look so. I don't know. It feels like this is about the right balance, but. She can stand on the live view box. I don't know. Well, I have got an extra like it, isn't it? Some on the £20,000 like it. On the box, anyway. Yeah, just give him a 5, that's it. You'll give him a signal. Just about a foot, both of you that way, yeah.
Pananda, and welcome back to Match Day Live. Half-time here at the Stoke Kairas. It's good news for Wrexham. They are leading Exeter City by 2-0. A very strong first half performance from Phil Parkinson's side, giving them that 2-goal cushion at the interval. It's been a very encouraging opening 45 minutes in weather conditions which have actually been better than were forecast. The wind has been manageable and the rain has stemmed, at least for now. It's been a very decent display in the opening 45, and let's take you through some of the key moments. Wrexham getting off to a great start with a Max Cleworth header from a corner in the 7th minute. Cleworth rising highest and powering his header beyond Joe Whitworth. So a really good start for Wrexham early in the game. It then looked like they had doubled their lead in the 22nd minute from an Elliot Lee header, but Ollie Rathbone, loitering on the goal line, got a touch to Lee's header, thinking it might be going wide, and that was enough to prompt the offside flag from the linesman. So Lee's header ruled out. But 2 minutes later, Ollie Palmer's header most certainly was ruled in. A quality cross from Ryan Barnett on the run. How many times have we said that this season? And Ollie Palmer steaming into the box unmarked, heading home for 2-0. Then a big penalty shout just after the half hour. James McLean firing the ball across the box. The hand went up. Appeals to referee Stephen Martin gave no dividend whatsoever. So Phil Parkinson and the Wrexham bench pretty unhappy that that wasn't given their way. But a few minutes later, the linesman's flag coming to Wrexham's rescue, because Caleb Watts in the 37th minute sprinted clear for Exeter, beat Callum Burton, but the linesman's flag on the other side of the ground this time came up. So it remains Wrexham 2, Exeter City 0 at half-time. Andy Morrell has watched the first half on commentary with Mia Roberts and Mark Griffiths. Andy, your reflections?
Well, very good. Very good start. I thought the intensity that they started at the game was incredible. They really went for Exeter. They set up with a plan to the knowing that Exeter were going to play out, so they went to pounce and press right from the start. And in conditions like this, if it's difficult to play, then your set pieces are going to be so key, and Wrexham have been on point. They've had 6 or 7 in this first half, and all of them have created some sort of panic in that Exeter defence, and they've been able to take one with Max's header, really good solid header, and another one maybe from Elliot Lee, but obviously Rathbone doesn't know he's offside and he just pokes it in for a goal. But I think they've been excellent. I think they've really, what I've been impressed with most is the way that they've mixed up their game. We've been maybe talking that they've been going a little bit long early in the past couple of games, too much, and they've really been able to mix that up, playing through midfield, and then maybe when they do press, you can go a little bit longer, and it gives Ollie Palmer a bit more chance to play.
We said beforehand that there might be a slight tweak in formation today, that Elliot Lee might not necessarily play in a flat front two with Ollie Palmer, and we've seen that a little bit, haven't we, with fluidity around that number 10 spot from both Rathbone and Lee, getting forward to support Palmer. Yeah, well, Lee's starting up with Palmer, and then he's dropping in when Matty James gets on the ball. He's then creating a little overload in there that Watts has to stay in with, because and Dobson's inside, has to stay in. So then that leaves Barnett. If we can make a couple of passes, Barnett's in a lot of space to then, obviously the goal comes from that into Lee, out to Barnett, and the cross is just angelic, isn't it? It's just beautiful. Perfect. And Palmer is just like, I'm going to have that all day long, and all you have to do is get it on target and it's a goal, and he certainly does that with aplomb, and they've been superb for this first half. Mia, from the very first minute this afternoon, Wrexham have seen right at it, and the changes to personnel and formation don't seem to have affected them in any way, or the lack of training this week, because we know from Phil Parkinson they haven't been able to get out on the grass until late in the week.
No, I think it looks like this sort of side, as 4 changes, I think it looks like they've played together for the majority of the games so far this season, so that's full credit to all the lads who've come in and made that impact. I think Matty James in particular, for me, I just think he looks a different cut of cloth sort of thing. Very, very good footballer. You can just tell, I just think he's, in moments, he's 2 or 3 seconds ahead of everyone else. He's already made that decision, and that's something that's really put us in good stead in that midfield, where I think over the last few weeks maybe we've lacked a little bit. But as well, I think Elliot Lee in that more forward position, as I said before the game, I was excited to see him more forward on the pitch, and I think he's done that today. Him and Ollie Palmer linked up really well, which is brilliant to see, and both goals really well taken. Delighted for Max to get another one. He's on fire. I mean,
he's becoming such a regular goal scorer now, Amir, isn't he?
I think he is. He's second joint goal scorer now with Elliot Lee. So it shows how much of an impact he's had so far this season. Missed a few games as well with injury too. So he's been massive for us. And I just think Phil Parkinson will be delighted with that first half performance, and hoping second half we come out and keep on it and get a few more.
Just a quick word on Lewis Brunt, Andy. It's his first start today in League One for the club. He's looked completely assured, and one break he made from defence, I thought, showed
quick, isn't it?
I was going to say, a turn of pace for a centre-back to sprint across the halfway line. It was like watching a winger.
Yeah, well, I think he's brought bits that we've seen to the Carabao Cup games, like Mia said before, but then when he gets that opportunity, he has to show that to stay in this team, and he's like really comfortable on the ball, both-footed, and he just steps in really well, which makes them then will have to go back and defend, which means when we do, if the ball does transition to them, they're not in their right position to go and attack. So he's such a threat, and his leap as well, he just gets up so early and heads the ball when long balls are coming on top of him. I think he's a real player and a real find.
So all going well for Wrexham so far this afternoon. 2-0 they lead Exeter City at the Stoke Kairas. But as you've probably seen through the social media channels this week, it's been a busy week for Wrexham off the field of play as well. The launch of the Wrexham AFC Foundation, continuing the work that has been started many years back by the Racecourse Foundation here, and the club continues to drive its community programmes in all sorts of directions. One aspect of that has been working with the Free Kicks Foundation, giving opportunities for young people. And just recently, young Joe had the chance to come to the Stoke Kairas to meet Arthur Okonkwo and to have one or two surprises.
Free Kicks Foundation has been going for some time now. They support Football League clubs all over the country by providing the finances for people to be offered mascot places at matches, which is great, and it's for really targeting people that normally wouldn't get that opportunity to be a mascot. Joe's had a really tough time and he's recovered thankfully from leukemia, but over the past probably 18 months he's been a real little hero. He's a football mad little boy who plays passionately for his club as well, so we wanted to give him an experience that he'd never forget. So that obviously involved coming in to train with the players, which he loved, and then we surprised him, and Arthur surprised him with being a mascot for the day for the Shrewsbury game, which again was a great experience for him. On top of that, Arthur gave him some tickets for his team to come and watch the game as well with him and support him being a mascot as well. From the moment Joe came in, he had such an infectious character that he absolutely embraced the whole day. The best part of the club, to be honest. I know everybody wants to win on a Saturday, but when you can go and do things in the community that really mean something, and that's something that Joe will remember for the rest of his life, and his parents will remember, and hopefully it's helped them. And like I said, they've had a really, really tough time, so something quite small, what seems quite small for the football club, makes a massive difference to a family and a community as well. For the remainder of the season, working through the Free Kicks Foundation, we'll continue to have more and more mascots in. Lots of people either going through hard times or been through hard times, and trying just to give people a really good time, a really good memory, and something that will last with them forever.
Our Head of Community, Jamie Edwards, there reporting from the Free Kicks Foundation. Fantastic to see Joe, and lots more going on in and around the community space. Keep across all our social media channels and see what is happening. Now, I'm delighted to have a couple of special guests with me here in the Fan Zone on Matchday Live this afternoon. All the way from Orlando, Florida, we have got Rebecca and we've got Ali. Great to see you both. Thank you so much for joining us on Matchday Live. Your first visit to Wrexham. Sorry we couldn't have found you some better weather. Rebecca, what's it been like to be in Wrexham?
It's been amazing. So we've been watching the club for a couple of years, and to be here live and to see the action, the activity, and the fans, it's fantastic. It's a lot of fun.
And am I fair to assume, Ali, that your first exposure to Wrexham was watching the Welcome to Wrexham documentary?
That's correct.
And what was it about the documentary that caught your interest?
Yeah, so we happened to buy a league in Orlando 2 years ago.
You bought a league?
We bought a league.
Wow.
So at that same time, we saw the Netflix documentary, so it was cool to watch how they took over a league, wanted to keep the culture. We also wanted to do the same, so it just happened to be at the same time.
Okay. Had you ever heard of Wrexham as a place before, Rebecca, before seeing Welcome to Wrexham?
No, honestly, I had, just as we were looking at buying this league, I followed Ryan Reynolds, obviously, but I was blown away that this documentary existed, and to hear of this small community and how not only have they impacted the sport, but the community, that spoke a lot to us, because we really are about bringing people together for the love of the game for as long as they can possibly play. So what an amazing way for them to show that here.
And tell us a little bit about this league then, Ali. How many teams have you got? Men, women, ages? Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so we start at 3 years old.
Three. Right.
So,
Getting them in early.
just seeing if they, really it's to see if they want to be in the sport, getting them active, getting their energy out. And then we have an adult league that we have people in their 70s. So we start from 3 to as long as people want to play. And it is co-ed. We have women and men of all ages, all areas of the U.S. We have a lot of English players, so we actually instilled the promotion and relegation in our 11-a-side program, which has been popular. So, yeah.
Because, of course, that's one of the aspects of the whole concept of English football that I think has resonated for people in the United States, is the peril of promotion and relegation.
Right.
When you brought it into the leagues, was it immediately popular, or are people a bit nervous that they might get relegated in their team?
People love it. We have some teams that want to get to, we have D1, D2, D3. D3s, you're here for a good time. D1, we have some semi-professional players.
Right.
We have some teams that don't want to get promoted, so they might lose on purpose. So we have both sides.
Right. And is this 11-a-side football, Rebecca, or 6-a-side?
What's that?
Is this full 11-a-side football, or is this a 6-a-side format?
We have everything.
11.
So we do 4s, 6s, 8s, and 11s.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Covering all the bases.
And even for new players who've never played before, which is fantastic. So we've met people tonight who've never played, and that's so surprising to me. So we love having the adult just come learn how to play. You've watched it. Now come learn how to play and play with a group that has a lot of fun and is very safe.
Fantastic. Well, I know the players are coming out for the second half, so I don't want to keep you both much longer. Briefly, how did you make of the Wrexham performance in the first half, Rebecca?
So I am learning the game. So as far as performance, I see two points on the board.
2 goals.
However, she may have a different opinion.
How did you see it, Ali?
Yeah, we're good at headers. The other team might need to learn what offsides is.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we've certainly seen lots of action, haven't we? 2 goals and 2 disallowed goals.
Yeah.
So thank you both very much for giving us your time. Really hope you enjoy the second half and exploring Wrexham after the match tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Rebecca and Ali joining us all the way from Orlando in Florida here for today's match. The players are coming out for the second half. We'll be back at full time to pick the bones out of the full game. Please join us again on YouTube on Wrexham Matchday Live. #WXMMDL. We'll see you at full time. Bye for now.
Cheers.
Top gear build with a tiny percentage of the production cost. Exeter in the 72nd minute. Number 20, Ollie Rathbone.
is your career. You know, sometimes when they still in then I remember awfully that they're all paid. And then I go, oh, actually. So how many people in the trade now? Saw Steph, didn't see me. I saw her actually walk past. Otherwise, I was not the delivery.
No, out of context. Do you want to see it all?
No, it's the other two.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, it's like split two companies.
Thank you.
Gloves time.
Yeah, a few games ago with my
you in this up tonight?
Yeah, probably. Just so the stage stays in and the ground support, just the screen comes out, the panels.
Is that for security?
Yeah, well, yeah, mainly for security, and we have thought about leaving it in, but I think they kill the power, and then the moisture gets to the actual panels. But yeah, we take it out.
Is if that table stays there, as long as it's going to be back on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Is it okay?
Yeah, it'll be all right. Yeah. Like I said, like the stage stays there, and that table's there, it'll be fine. It won't be me on Tuesday. It'll be with the LD, it'll be Jamie or Michael then. Yeah.
Why is the same dog?
Are you ready to watch me now?
No, I haven't seen those matter.
Oh, so
the reason why the dog's having
yeah, his dog's having a meltdown because the power's gone.
On final safety announcement, as all spectators leave the stadium, please take extra care this evening, please. Thank you.
Take care. You know where it is. I'm looking for it.
I know. Yeah. Oh no, help!
I can hear you. Right, how long is the retake? both garage. Yeah, there was enough spare heat going in first, but pipes and into that fan. It was a big pipe.
Okay, John.
Right, come on guys. Which is which here, John?
Yeah. Well, it was 1, 2, 3.
And a very warm welcome back to Match Day Live. Full time here at the Stoke Kairas, and it's victory for Wrexham. Their 7th home win of the league season. They've beaten Exeter City by 3-0. A comprehensive victory for Phil Parkinson's side, getting their league campaign right back on track after that blip away at Stockport County last weekend. Goals from Ollie Palmer, Ollie Rathbone and Max Cleworth. Too much for the Grecians. Wrexham very much on the front foot from the first whistle, led 2-0 at half-time, early header from Cleworth, and then another one from Palmer. The second half, very much a lot of game management from a Wrexham perspective. Chances were fewer, but one fell to Ollie Rathbone, man of the match today. He headed home James McLean's corner to make it 3-0. Callum Burton was extended on a couple of occasions, but in truth, Wrexham really good value for this victory. Mia Roberts and Andy Morell are back alongside me. We're back in the Wrexham fan zone. Can we hear the Wrexham fans? There they are! There they are! They've enjoyed their afternoon, and it hasn't even rained despite Storm Burt being threatened. Andy Morell, what did you make of the 90?
I thought they were excellent. I thought first half they were superb, the intensity they went at, and then the second half, their game management, the way we went about it, just staying in our shape, not letting them have a sniff really of our goal. I don't think Callum Burton's had a save to make today, and I thought it was a really thoroughly professional performance.
Mia, how did you see it?
Completely echo that. I think today was a big game. I think on the back of a few performances now where you'd say we haven't quite been at it, and I think that's something you haven't said much about this Wrexham side under Phil Parkinson. So today was big, especially going into the next few weeks where we've got a really busy and tough schedule. So today was really big, and in weather conditions as well. I know it wasn't too bad out there, but it could have been a bit of a banana skin. So I think they'll be absolutely delighted to get through it. 3 points, 3 goals, and a clean sheet.
Mia, you and I have chatted about Ollie Rathbone quite often in the cup competitions, and I know you've been really impressed with him when we've seen him. He got a start today, man of the match performance from him. Just talk a little bit about what you saw from our number 20 today.
No, I'm a big fan of him, and I think you can sort of see out there today why we've paid the money we have for him, because he's a real asset and he works so hard, and I think that's something Wrexham fans have always loved about players who play for this club, and that's what makes them fall in love with certain players, the ones who absolutely wear their heart on their sleeve and would give everything for that badge on their chest. And he's someone I look at as someone who can do that every time he goes out there, and today I thought he gave absolutely everything and got the goal in the end to wrap that up. And I think I said on commentary, I think Elliot Lee won't be too happy with him after stealing his goal, but he'll be absolutely delighted. You saw that in the celebration. He's the biggest smile I've ever seen, I think, of anybody. So I thought he was brilliant today, and something he can really take forward with him now, and hope to stay in that starting 11.
I'll be interested when we watch the video back of Ollie Rathbone's goal of just how much he got on that. The edge of an eyebrow maybe, or a couple of hairs, but he was definitely claiming it, and it wasn't James McLean directly from the corner.
Oh no, 100%. He was definitely claiming it with that celebration. But no, it was a beautiful ball in from James McLean, just wicked delivery. You just have to sort of get a little nick on it, like you say. It doesn't matter what you get on it. It's always going to find the back of that net, and he does so well to get in that position. For someone who's not the biggest, he does really well, uses his strength, intelligence to get in that position, and really well taken.
Andy, who else stood out for you for Wrexham today?
I thought Lewis Brunt did really well at the back. I thought he stepped in when he needed to, especially first half, and then in the second half there was a slight little chance, and he's there so quick to block. I thought he'd done excellently, dealt with everything that was up in the air and covered round when he needed to. I thought he was excellent. I thought if Phil Parkinson made a couple of changes like he did, was there a doubt that it was going to happen like this? He's had the perfect day, hasn't he, Phil Parkinson? 3-0, totally. Clean sheet with a little change to the defence. Everybody's played well, everybody's been on the front foot. I think he'll be delighted with their day's work.
And Matty James as well, Mia, coming in, he had the chance to take the applause of the Stoke Kairas as he came off just a minute before the end. A really impressive performance, showing all his proven quality in that central midfield role.
Yeah, we spoke about him at half-time. I just think he's an excellent footballer, technically just unbelievable. You can sort of just see in his play that he's played at that highest level. So, what a great someone to bring in late on a free as well. It's superb business, and he's definitely going to be looking at it obviously only until January. I'm sure he'll be thinking, right, I need to push to try and make get that extension and stay here for as long as I can, because I think with performances like that, I think he could quite easily do that. He's a top player. I know he tired a bit towards the end, but that's only because of the work he's putting in, and for that to be his first league start and to have a performance like that, it speaks to his quality.
Very, very good afternoon's work from 1 to 11 from the Wrexham starters. Well supported off the bench as well. We had the chance to see Paul Mullin go close in the second half as he continues, of course, that long return from the back surgery he had in the summer. Mullin going close with a volley and linking up well with James McLean as well late on. But Wrexham 3-0 winners here today. We've got a chance to have a look at what else has been going on around League One by taking a look at today's scores and table. Over Birmingham City by 3-2. There's all the scores on the screen. Barnsley 0, Wigan Athletic 1, Bolton beating local rivals Blackpool by 2-1. Stockport, another good win for them, 3-0 away at struggling Burton Albion. Crawley beating Rotherham by 1-0. Huddersfield edging Charlton by 2-1. Wickham making it 7 straight wins. Astonishing run from the Chairboys. What a job Matt Bloomfield is doing down in Buckinghamshire. They beat Lincoln City, who come to the Stoke Kairas, of course, on Tuesday night by 3-2. So their lead at the top will continue. Mansfield 0, Bristol Rovers 1, so defeat there for Nigel Clough's side. Northampton and Cambridge stalemate 0-0. Peterborough 1, improving Reading 2. We know about Shrewsbury beating Birmingham earlier in the day. All square between Stevenage and Leyton Orient at Broadhall Way. And we of course know what happened here, a Wrexham win by 3-0. So let's see what all that means for the League One table. And we know, of course, Wycombe Wanderers' astonishing form continues, so they remain out as surprise front-runners, 35 points from 15 games. Wrexham up to second, 16 points and 31 points rather from 16 games, ahead of arch-rivals Stockport, who've played a game more, in third, a point behind, and Birmingham, with a couple of games in hand on Wrexham, dropped to fourth after that defeat against Shrewsbury. But Mia, it's been a few weeks since Wrexham were into second spot. That's good to see.
Yeah, it's very good viewing, isn't it? I mean, you know, I don't think a lot of people would have been expecting to see that league table today after the Birmingham result. But there you go. That's the competitiveness of this league. And I think, listen, I know Birmingham have got a couple of games in hand, but you know that doesn't mean much. You've still got to play your games and get your points when they're available to you.
Well, I think I can just see Phil Parkinson looming up behind us. Big fan zone welcome for Phil Parkinson. Here he is. Thank you, Phil, very much for coming to join us in the fan zone so quickly, and many congratulations on an excellent win. You must be delighted with that today.
Yeah, absolutely delighted. I thought it was a really good performance from the lads, and we had good control in the game. The players who came in, I thought, were excellent, and it's a good 3 points for us against a team who have only conceded 10 goals. They're a difficult team to break down, but we found a way today, and it's a great win for us.
Managers are, of course, paid to make brave decisions, but you made a couple today. You made 4 changes, you tweaked the system a little bit. Yeah. Were you pleased with how quickly your team adjusted to those changes?
Yeah, I mean, even though we hadn't trained a great deal this week, we did have a session Thursday, and we looked at Elliot in that position where, you know, Elliot has played a lot of his career, and I thought he was excellent for us. The ball stuck when he went up to him. He found little pockets either side of their midfield players, so really pleased with him. And obviously Matty James, I thought, was outstanding in the middle of the pitch for us. And Brunty as well stepped in with the ball like we hoped he would, and put in a really good performance. And Ollie Rathbone was just so energetic, broke the play up for us, showed real quality when he had it, and deservedly got his goal.
Max Cleworth, joint leading scorer with Jack Marriott now. He's becoming a serious threat, isn't he, in the opposition box?
Yeah, listen, so pleased for Maxie. You know, as when he scored that goal at Colchester last year, it was one of the most important goals of the season, and since then he's continued to look a threat, and it's so important that we get goals from set plays. I thought the delivery today was really good, and we looked a threat constantly.
You spoke to us earlier in the season, Phil, about the players who were going to have to be patient for their chance. It took Dan Scarr a while to break in, obviously Lewis Brunt in a similar vein today, but as we head into the depths of the winter and a busy period, that squad depth is going to be vital for you, isn't it?
Absolutely, and you know, Brunty's a good example. You know, we fought off a lot of clubs to bring Brunty here, but we've got a very good defensive record ourselves, so he's had to be patient, but we felt the time was right to play him. He's done well in the cup games, and I think everybody saw what he was all about today. He was dominant in the air, stepped in, got tight to their number 10 on that side, and played really, really well. And I'm pleased for him, because it's not easy when you come to a new club and you don't get in the team. He did start pre-season when he came with an injury, so he was always a bit behind. But I just said to the lads in the dressing room, it's about the standards in training being maintained. So when lads like Brunty get a chance, they're ready to take it. And that's what you saw today. Brunty was ready.
And in a similar vein, Callum Burton, Phil, when he was called upon today, looked really solid. And particularly for supporters seeing him for the first time, a really good deputy for Arthur while he recovers from the wrist break.
Yeah, we've got Callum and Mark Howard, two very good goalkeepers, very experienced. And obviously, with Arthur being out, it's a blow for anybody. He's done so well for us, but Callum waited patiently and he's taken his chance today, as he did last week.
Yeah, we've been waxing lyrical about Ryan Barnett over the past few weeks. Great to have him sign a longer contract for you.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's very important for all our supporters. I'm sure will back me on this, that we keep our best young players, because the way Barney's been playing, I don't know how many assists he's got now, but inevitably he's going to attract attention. And we worked hard to recruit those young players, and we want to make sure we keep them and they can continue on this journey with Wrexham Football Club.
Yeah, he was brilliant. That cross, wasn't it? The second goal was right.
Yeah, and I thought that goal, I hope that on the highlights reel that gets shown right from the start, because that was an outstanding move. And I thought the left wing back did well against Barney up to that point. He got tight to him. They'd obviously worked on that, but Barney just found half a yard, and it's a great delivery. I'm pleased for Ollie Palmer. Ollie's worked so hard in recent weeks or this season, but he needed a goal, and pleased for him. Apart from that mad 5 minutes he had in the second half when he kept giving the ball away, but he was good.
We'll let him off, right?
Yeah, we'll let him off. No, listen, strikers need goals, and Ollie's worked tirelessly, but equally, when the ball comes in the box, you've got to be in there where it matters most, and but Ollie did well today.
And with Birmingham beaten, Phil, back up to second, and another home game just 3 days away.
Yeah, pleased with that, and great game. Great game for us Tuesday. I've seen a bit of Lincoln because they played Exeter last game. And we're going to have to be ready because they're a physical team, a little bit different to Exeter. We're going to have to make sure we're ready to run the hard yards on Tuesday night, but with our magnificent supporters behind us, they'll drive the lads on, and we're looking for another good performance.
Well, Phil, huge thanks for coming down and joining us in the fan zone, and massive congrats on the win today. Ladies and gentlemen, Phil Parkinson. A delighted Phil Parkinson, and rightly so, after an excellent team performance. 3 goals and 3 points here at the Stoke K-Ras this afternoon. Well, off the pitch, you might have seen it's been a busy week too for the club, with the relaunch of the club's foundation. And who better than our owners, Rob McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds, to explain a bit more.
Well, hello there. Rob McElhenney here.
And Ryan Reynolds here.
Both super excited to introduce you to
the Wrexham AFC Foundation.
Take it away, Humphrey.
The Wrexham AFC Foundation is the club's official charity. It's the way we give back to the community who have given and continue to give so much to us. Across Wrexham, North Wales and the world, our foundation focuses its delivery on children, young people and young adults. Using the power of football and love of Wrexham AFC, our targeted delivery supports learning, improves health, creates equal opportunities and strengthens communities. It ensures we connect with the community, provide a pathway for future talent, create meaningful partnerships and provide a platform to engage with our future fan base.
With our players' support and your support, we want our foundation to become one of the world's leading social responsibility programs.
Together we will change the lives of young people in North Wales and beyond.
Wrexham AFC, always community first.
Welcome back inside the Stoke K-Ras. We're in the fan zone, reflecting on Wrexham's victory. Their 7th at home this season from 8 league fixtures. This outstanding form here in North Wales, continuing against an Exeter City side who arrived in decent away form but were blown away by Wrexham from the start. If you're just joining us on Matchday Live, Max Cleworth, Ollie Palmer and Ollie Rathbone on target in today's win as Wrexham move back to second in the League One table. Andy, you touched on Ryan Barnett's contract extension there with Phil Parkinson. I know a lot of fans have been getting a little nervous on social media that Ryan Barnett might be tempted away up a league or two here in January, but just a quick thought on that.
Yeah, I think that's where the club is at this moment in time now, where it was 10 years ago we would lose players that were going up and on their way, on their careers, and it's a completely different situation now. The owners have made that, the manager knows that, we know that we're on an upward trajectory, and to keep your better players only just signifies for more players coming in behind that. So delighted to get him on a longer contract. He's been the standout for me this season, and hopefully long may it continue.
Well, I know we've got Ollie Palmer in the building. He's trying to make his way across the fan zone. I think he's still got his kit on. Great to see you, Ollie. Thank you for coming on in. Well,
Okay.
Well, you got your fans in. That's okay. You brought your fans along, so great to have Ollie with us. Thanks for coming down. Ollie, that must have been a great game to play in.
Yeah, I think, obviously after last week was a disappointing performance, which happens in football. And also we've had a bit of a tough week, to be fair, with the weather. So all in all, put everything into perspective, it was a really good performance.
A few tweaks from Phil in terms of starters today and also in terms of system, but it didn't seem to affect you at all. Right from the start, there seemed to be a good fluency in the way that the team played.
Yeah, I think not just myself, but the rest of the lads really enjoyed how we played today. Apart from, I had a really sticky 10 minutes.
Phil's just mentioned that, Ollie.
Yeah, which I think I put my boots on the wrong feet for 10 minutes. It was, but that aside, it was a great performance by everybody, and it was a good 3-0 win against a really good side.
A thumping header from you for the second this afternoon. Ryan Barnett's given you a good supply line through the season, but as that ball was coming in, what was going through your head?
Just make good contact, just arrive and make good contact. I've been working on it a lot with Jonah about timing in the box, and recently I've had a few more chances. Unfortunately not taking them, but today I did, and it was a great cross by Barney, and it was a really well worked goal. I think the play before that as well. So it was a really good all-round team goal.
All right, mate. Well played. Good header. Did you have to alter the way that you played today with Elliot Lee up top with you than you do with a Bob Varson or a Mullin?
No, not really. I think the game plan was similar, but we wanted to get Al on the ball in the pockets. The gaffer brought Matty James in, who's an unbelievable player. You saw today how he controlled the game. So not a lot changed for me personally. I just think maybe just picked up a few different positions, and obviously I've not played up top with Al before, so that was slightly new. But I think it worked really well, and it was it was brave of the gaffer to mix it up, change personnel. But it worked, and he got a great 3-0 win.
Day at the office, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You've got a man next to you who scored a hat-trick against Exeter City 20 years ago.
I wasn't going to bring that up.
He wasn't going to bring it up.
How old are you?
Don't even ask.
Into his 60s now, but still looking good for it. But does a goal like that really help to kind of develop your positivity and your mindset as you're looking forward to the next game? What does it do for a player from a confidence perspective?
Yeah, of course.
I think you could see it. After you score, it's like a big relief off the shoulders, and then you've got your little flicks and going and they're coming out. Do you know what I mean?
Sometimes they come off and sometimes they don't. Even then, after I've had a sticky 10 minutes, I still, it's more character. Then it's like I've driven up the channel with the ball, won a corner, and we've got a goal from that. So yeah, it helps, but I don't think the gaffer never brought me in to go and get 25, 30 goals a season. He brought me in to to beat up centre halves, be effective in what I do, and I've tried to evolve my game under the gaffer, and I think I've done that. And I always want to contribute with goals, of course, but I think there's more to the game than that. And we've got goals all around the team, and I think it's more about the team performances for me now, and how we're playing and how we're picking up points. And we've started League One really well. I think obviously we don't want to lose games, but we are going to lose games. That's the reality, and we've just got to keep positive. And the fans have been unbelievable with us, since I've arrived and this season. And of course we're gonna, Charlton drop 2 points and lose to Stockport. We don't want to do that, big rivals, but it's going to happen. But all in all, I think you look at the season how we started. It's been a fantastic start. I don't know where we are in the league right
Second
now.
now.
Second, there you go.
But I think it's the way you react to a defeat, though, has been really impressive so far this season. When things have gone wrong, the next time you've come out, you've gone back to hard work, pressing, and back to basics, really.
Yeah, of course, and you've got to do that, And even after we win, we've always been so good at that. We've won a game and we've put it to bed. We've never gone in the change room and celebrated. No one celebrated in there today, and we've never done that since I've been here. We just tick games off, and it's the same when you lose or you draw. You just put it to bed. Gaffer wasn't happy. Yes, we addressed it in meetings in the week, but then you put it to bed and you move on. And it's the same when you win games. Don't sit there and watch it for the next 5-6 days. Forget about it. Ticked it off. It's done. It's gone. So we've been good at that, and that's all we've kind of done since I've been here. We're just kind of ticking the games off. Just putting in the best performances you can each week, and hopefully it pays off most of the time. Sometimes it won't, but that's football. That's right. Not going to win every week, and I think overall this season, I think you've got to be really happy with how we're doing.
Absolutely so. I don't think anybody isn't, Ollie. But thank you so much for coming and joining us in the fan zone. Well done on your goal. Well done on the win.
I just want to dedicate that win to a little lad in hospital, actually.
Please, yeah.
And his name's Archie. I went to see him in the week, and I put a lot of pressure on. I said I'll score for him today, and I'm not scoring in about 7 games. So I was worrying a little bit. But no, that was for Archie. So thank you.
Yeah, well said. Well said.
Thanks very much, Ollie. Ladies and gentlemen, Ollie Palmer. Wrexham number 9, Ollie Palmer, delighted to be on the score sheet today, and a big shout out as well for Archie. Wrexham victors here by 3-0. And when you've had a great win like that, Mia, you always want the fixture list to be kind to you, and a home game 3 days hence, great chance to keep that momentum.
Yeah, you just want to get straight back out there, and I'm sure they'll all be dying to do that, straight away today. Maybe not Matty James after when he finished that game, looks a bit tired, but no, they'll be looking forward to it. And I think that's the great thing about this sort of build-up of games over the next few weeks. When you're in form, it's the best sort of thing, because you're just playing game after game. When you're out of form, it's a bit of a nightmare. But when you're putting on performance like that, especially when the games are back-to-back at home as well, it's another huge plus. And I think Ollie comes across so well there in terms of how he speaks about not celebrating too much after games, and I think that's something you can see that it doesn't go to their head straight away. I think that might be something maybe that comes from that sort of National League days where you couldn't celebrate after those games because you knew Notts County had already won or whatever and weren't dropping points. So I don't know whether that's something that's maybe just stuck with them, that core sort of squad. But fascinating to hear off him, and yeah, I think they'll be excited for Tuesday now.
We said, Andy, today that the pitch conditions and the weather conditions were better than the forecast, but will that surface have taken a lot out of a number of those players? Will Phil have to look now at Tuesday and say, well, I can't probably expect Matty James to go again, or maybe other players who've had a little bit less time? Is that going to be an important consideration?
Possibly, but you're looking at no game next Saturday, aren't you? So you're possibly just going to get as much out of the tank as you can for the players. Charlie's done a superb job, by the way, getting that pitch sorted,
so well,
it was beautiful. There wasn't a bobble out there. It ran really straight and like a die. So the lads have worked tirelessly on that to get it on to start with, and it has held up all right. Like you say, the weather wasn't too bad, but also with that, when the conditions are like, your set pieces have to be right, and we've scored 2 set pieces, we've scored 3 headers today. That's been absolutely top draw. I thought James McLean was right on the money with his, and that's how you win games at this level sometimes.
Don't forget as well, on the club website tomorrow at 2 o'clock there will be a free live streaming of Wrexham women's trip to Oswestry as they tackle TNS in their next Adran Premier fixture. Every game that the women's team play is streamed free of charge on the Wrexham Club website, so if you're not able to get to Park Hall, then you can watch it online tomorrow afternoon. 2 o'clock kick-off. Steve Dale's team in really good form at the moment after a challenging first few weeks of the season. They've been in great nick and up against local rivals TNS tomorrow afternoon. So more football for you then, and then we will turn our eyes, Mia and Andy, to Tuesday night and Lincoln City coming to town. Phil talking about a different challenge that they're likely to bring. He's always so well prepped, isn't he, in other teams and the styles of play.
Well, I think he got lucky, didn't he, because obviously Lincoln played Exeter, so you get a little eye on them. But
he's well prepped anyway. That's
no, absolutely, yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I mean, important that obviously there is some sense of perspective. It sounds like there's plenty of perspective from what Ollie was saying in the dressing room, that great to get 3 points, but they've got to get straight back on it, presumably a light training session on Monday and then back at it on Tuesday.
Yeah, and I think we've seen, I don't know what order the goals came in, but 3-2 at home to Wickham, a side who are in good form. That's you look at that, Lincoln must have put in a decent performance probably. Yep. I imagine, I'm not too sure, but yeah, there'll be a tough test on Tuesday night, and it will be interesting, I think, to see what changes are made. Like you talk about, you see if legs are rested, but obviously it gives us a bit of another opportunity with, like Andy says, that Saturday, the following weekend off. So maybe you can push people a bit further than originally planned. So really looking forward to that one, to see who he puts in that starting 11 and if many changes are made.
Well, Mia, thank you very much. All the best for your game tomorrow up against Iffelinhelly, is that right? Up at Bangor. So good luck to Llandudno then.
Can I just say good luck to Andy Dibble? He goes in for a knee op tomorrow, replacement knee. So yeah, he was a great character when he was in the changing rooms when we had him in 2002-03. So good luck, hope it goes well, and fingers crossed for you.
Yeah, big hero here, Officer Dibble, great keeper for Wrexham in his day. Andy, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We will see you on Tuesday as well. So today, Wrexham victorious by 3-0. Goals from Palmer, from Rathbone and from Cleworth. Here at the Stoke Kairas, it's very much been Ollie to the max. From all of us here in the fan zone, we'll see you on Tuesday. Diolch am wylio. Good night.